Hi, I'm Shauna. I sold my 2,000 plus square foot home and Toyota Prius, bought an e-bike, got a tiny home rental, and now I'm saving and planning for a van life / box truck. Join me for the adventure while I go over hot tips, planning, saving strategies, and more. You're here because you're shopping for an e-bike, and I got one for you. The ENGWE Engine Pro. Why did I pick this specific e-bike and why you should also pick it? Well, this review is based on 1 year of hard use, and what I mean by hard is it's my sole transportation. I sold my car, bought this e-bike, and I use it for anything and everything. So that means groceries, shopping, medical appointments, visiting friends and family, pretty much anything and everything I have used this bike for. I'm going to put up on the left side of the screen all the specs for all you number happy shoppers out there, and for the rest of you who like all the real life scenarios or real use reviews like me, then I'm going to go ahead and share those reasons with you. So all the pros and all the cons, which, spoiler alert, they're mostly pros. I would say 95% are pros. But I will give you the ones that I do find as negative as well. All right, shall we start with why I specifically bought my e-bike? Range. The specs, as you can see on the left, it does go 75 miles before the battery dies. However, that is based upon if you weigh 170 or less, and clearly I am not 170 or less. So my range that I typically get is more in the 50s, which that is still excellent in my opinion. So I did look for a bike with the specs of something like 75 miles or longer, just because I knew that my weight was going to bring it down. So that was personally important to me because, again, I sold my car and I am looking for something that's going to get me around town long range. So that was my number one. Number two, which kind of goes along with number one, is the payload capacity. When you're shopping for an e-bike, you need to pay attention to that. You need to pay attention to your weight and your height, and if that bike is going to work for you. So the payload capacity on this bike is 330 pounds, and it accommodates anybody 6'5". So pay attention to that, especially if you're going to use it like I do, which is I store a bunch of groceries, which can probably easily add to like 10, 15 more pounds, especially when I go to Costco. Love my Costco. Number three, believe it or not, this beefy bike behind me, it does fold, and that was important to me because my channel is about saving and prepping for van life or tiny homes. So I did want a bike that folded and was able to be put into a van. So foldable, which brings me to, I like to call 3.5. The weight of the bike is 64 pounds. So that was kind of like right there in the middle, because when I was doing my research, bikes were easily 70 or more pounds. And there are some bikes that are less, but for all the features that I'm going to be going through with you, for what you're getting, this weight class, it didn't matter to me, because I was getting all of these wonderful features that I personally needed. So I was okay with the 64 pounds. Do I wish it was lighter? Yeah, of course I do. Who doesn't? Number four, I don't think you're gonna find this on other reviews, but it mattered to me. So my wheels. My wheels are all one piece all-terrain wheels, no spokes, so mag wheels. That mattered to me because when I was doing my homework, spokes require you to tune and tighten them, and I had a reality moment that I don't think I'm going to put in the time to do my spokes. So you just need to have an honesty moment. If you're the kind of person who likes to tune up your bike, all props to you. I just don't have that kind of time. I work a full-time job, plus I'm doing this YouTube, and editing does take a long time, and filming. So I just knew that I wasn't going to be doing spokes. So for me, I needed an all one-piece wheel plus fat wheels. I plan on using my bike, like I mentioned. I'm going to be traveling when I get my van. So I like to go to the beach. The beach is one of my favorite places. So I needed a fat wheel to ride the sand and nature paths, and also be used for streets and sidewalks. So hence the all-terrain wheel. All right, number 5, this is suspension. So I like to also call that comfort. There is 3 points of full suspension on this bike, and it's the front and rear magnesium alloy shock absorbing fork, as well as the seat post has also absorbing. So there's 3 points on this bike that absorb the shock for your comfort. So yay. Number 6, hydraulic brakes. When you do your research, you're going to realize that hydraulic brakes, again, I'm going for less maintenance and reliability. So hydraulic brakes were ranking high on my list, so I went with hydraulic brakes. In fact, my number 7 is going to tie in with my hydraulic brakes. I was going to say that when I went to the bike shop to get my bike tuned for 1 year of use, the bike tech said that my brakes were in excellent condition for 1 year. And that is because of number 7, regenerative braking. Regenerative braking, it's not working like a Prius, which I did own before this. It's giving you like 10% battery. It's not like fully charging your battery. So if you're going straight, which I do have an example, which I'm going to show you. If you're speeding on a level path straight and you do your regenerative braking, you'll see it charge up, but it's like minimum. But if you go down like a causeway, which I did do and don't have footage of because that was quite scary going at that speed, I needed 2 hands on my wheel, you will get a lot of juice pumped up on that. Not a full battery, but more than if you're going in a straight line. So back to the brakes, hydraulic brakes. The reason my hydraulic brakes looked as good as they did is because of the regenerative braking. I use that a lot to slow my speed down, which helps prevent my pads from wearing on my hydraulic brakes, which are 160 millimeters of rotors. Number 8, price. Price. E-bikes are expensive, and once again, when I was researching e-bikes for everything that I wanted, the bikes were easily going well over $2,000, and who has $2,000 these days? Not me. I did buy my bike for, I'll pull up the receipt, but off the top of my memory, it was $1,500 or close to $1,500. Right now, I'm on the website where I bought my bike from, which is Back to Modern. They're running a special, which I am very jelly if you get your bike at this rate, because it wasn't my rate. It's something like $9.99, and this bike is easily a $1,500 bike. So I do have a link in my description for that great deal. I am an affiliate for the bike, but I bought the bike before I became an affiliate. So I bought the bike with my own money, ended up loving the bike, and now I'm an affiliate for the bike. So just wanted to throw that out. There are other features about this e-bike that maybe you're going to love. They weren't on my top 8 list, but they're on yours probably. Like speed. Speed didn't really matter to me. Yeah, I don't want to be a turtle, but I also didn't really care about the speed of the bike. But if you care, it does go 30 miles per hour. It's got a hub motor of a 750 watts with a 1,000 watt peak. So it is a pretty good fast bike. I think I've heard that you can hack it to where you can go more than that, but why? Why do you need to go faster than that? I guess for fun, maybe for speed demon purposes. It has a great torque on it. It has a color display, iron fenders, not plastic, but iron. It comes 95% assembled. So all you're doing is putting on your seat post, you're putting on your front wheel, which is some nuts and bolts, and then you're putting the handlebars in and tightening those. So it's 3 things. I don't really count the seat because that is just so simple. So 95% assembled. You got a headlight. You have a backlight. The headlight is auto. If that annoys you, then you can do it manually. You also have 8 gears. I personally don't use the gears. I mainly use pedal and then, pedal and pedal assist. But if you're into 8 gears, there you go. It would come in handy if you ran your battery out and you need to get this bike back home, because once again, it is 64 pounds that you have to pedal plus your body weight. So those 8 gears are going to come in handy for that. You have 15 levels of pedal assist. So you have 5 eco pedal assist levels, 5 normal pedal assist levels, and 5 sport mode pedal assist. So 15 modes. The negatives. I promised you some negatives, which I only have 2. And that would be where they decided to put the keyhole. I don't know why they put it there. I'm not an engineer of why they couldn't put it on top, but it's at the bottom of your bike. So you kind of have to contort and look up to get your key up into the hole. No, it will not fall out. It is, I've tried it. I've yanked on it to make sure I'm not going to lose my house keys. It is secure, but yeah, it is in a very awkward, uncomfortable place to constantly have to get your key in to turn your e-bike on. That's my biggest beef with this bike. Second would be the bike seat that it came with. It's okay. It totally was an okay seat, but if you're using the e-bike like I do, which is sole transportation, you are going to want a better, more comfortable seat. So I did upgrade my seat to the Cloud. I think now that has changed since I bought mine 1 year ago. I think now you can actually order it with the upgraded seat already on. In my case, I had to buy it with the seat it comes with and then go pay additional money to get the Cloud 9 seat. So that's it. That's my negatives. So told you I didn't have much. They're mostly pros. You will definitely appreciate the other video I have, which is the savings in a year's time frame of using just an e-bike. I mean, that alone will convince you to get rid of your car, put it up on Carvana, get the money, buy an e-bike. It definitely has saved a ton of money using an e-bike. If you did find this information helpful, this review helped you make a decision, give it a good subscribe, thumbs up, comment, anything will help, and then I'll see you on the next video. Take care.